Hi, this is Elizabeth Stephan at Western Libraries. This is an overview on how to find international industry info in Business Source Complete. I'm mainly going to focus on looking for industry reports, but I'm also going to show you how to find other types of information like articles and other relevant info related to an industry in another country. I'm going to show you two different searches and some of the issues you may run into when doing those searches. I'm going to start with the automobile industry. And I'm just going to say automobile. And I'm going to look for automobiles or automobile in China. I'm going to change this drop down to geographic term. I will leave automobiles as is. And then I'm going to scroll down and filter by publication type. I'm going to look specifically at or for industry profiles. By doing this, I really filter out some of the extra info and what might be considered noise when you're doing a search like this. When I get my results, looking directly at the titles, they seem pretty relevant. New car sales, industry profile China. Same thing. But if you look at the dates, you'll see October 2010, 2006. It does that because I limited to industry profiles and the database is sorting by relevance. So it's trying to find the thing that it thinks relates most to an industry profile. I can change that by simply changing the relevance to the newest date. This doesn't always work with all searches, but because we limited to a profile and we know that's what we're looking for, it's going to be a lot easier. So the first one we get is the MarketLine industry profile for new cars in China. MarketLine is a publisher. Their reports are pretty good, they're pretty relevant, and they are very reliable. You can get to it a couple of different ways. I can click directly on the title, or I can just click on Access Now and it'll take me directly to the PDF. Before we go any further, I do want to show you can bookmark or save an item, you can add to a project, you can share or forward this to somebody, you can delete it, you can download. You also have the option to listen, where it'll read the report to you. So this is a report from November 2024. Gives you a basic overview, gives you the market value, the forecast, the volume forecast, segmentation, market share, and market rivalry. As you scroll down, the table of contents are linked, so that can actually be really useful. If we look at market share, gives you the market share, the leading player in market share for the Chinese new car market, but it does let you know that right now Volkswagen has 14.6 share, and that is the largest player in the current Chinese new car market. When you get into the market overview, that's when you're going to start getting into more specific details. We can go to the market overview. It gives you the definition, an analysis, and that kind of supports the information that you're going to find in that executive summary. Then it gives you market value, etc. If we go back to our results, you'll see they have other industry profiles, other types of automobiles. Here's one on a hybrid and electric. Same thing, click on Access Options. Motorcycles may not necessarily be automobiles, but they definitely have an impact and are related to transportation in China. You will see some reports here from Euromonitor. If you click on Access Options, it says Find It. Normally, when it says Find It, we can get something through interlibrary loan. Unfortunately, we do not have access to Euromonitor or Euromonitor International Industry Profiles. Well, I initially started looking for industry profiles. If I want to know more information, things related to automobiles in China, I can go to Filter and actually remove that industry profile filter. And I can see other information related to periodicals, even peer-reviewed articles related to the automobile industry. And again, you'll see some things might be kind of dated. This is from 2023. This is from 2017. However, this is a peer-reviewed article, and if you dive into it, it looks at work-related fatigue at a Chinese automobile plant. That may relate to what you are looking for when it comes to the automobile industry. And then you'll also see things that may get into more current events related to the automobile industry, and then just maybe some current numbers. If you want to try changing this, you can go to newest, and that's going to even get you some more information related to automobile market. And you'll see these first couple of articles are peer reviewed. So these are going to be more in-depth research articles as opposed to something that's going to be coming from a newspaper that's going to be a more current event. One is not better than the other. It really depends on the type of information you are looking for and how you plan on what kind of research you need. I want to go back and do another search, a different search. I'm going to scroll down and make sure we have all of our filters clear. We're going to stay with China. I'm going to keep this fairly simple, looking for computers, and then change publication type to industry, and then search. Once again, you'll see industry profile show up right away from 2024. Then you'll start seeing Euromonitor international profiles. Again, we don't have access to Euromonitor profiles, and that's not the type of information that we can get through interlibrary loan. Same thing with this sector capsule. That's also from Euromonitor International. So if I want to make sure that what I am looking at we have access to, I am going to select full text. What that will do is filter out just the reports that we have that I know we have access to. So again, this shows us industry profiles, computer hardware in China, but you'll see it's from 2013. So again, I'm going to click on the newest and change the sort. And then we see December 2024, that same market line industry profile. Most of these reports will probably be market line industry reports. You will see these Barnes reports. I would not recommend using these. These are generally a list of statistics, and they don't give you a lot of analysis and are probably not going to be useful for what you are looking for. So you'll be able to go back the last few years looking at the market line industry reports. I'd also recommend coming in and maybe clearing out the industry profile and applying. We could also take off the full text, and this would give us other reports or other articles related to the computer, like related to computers and possibly the computer industry in China and even computer use. Now, again, these may not be that type of analysis you want or think you need for an industry review, but it may give you access to some articles that will give you an overview of what is happening with computers in China. We can sort things by relevance, again, getting the most recent articles first, but something that might also be useful is looking at publication date. Let's say I want to look at the most recent 5 years. I can apply that. I can also create a custom range if that is useful. And then apply. Again, I know these sector capsules we don't have access to. I'm not selecting full text because I also want to see what we may have access to, especially as far as peer-reviewed or maybe periodical articles that might be useful. If I am looking for something that's more research-based, I can click on peer-reviewed and it will filter out all the articles that are peer-reviewed related to computers in China. If we have access to it, it'll show up as access now. If there are different options, it'll show up that way. Something that might also be useful is looking at company profiles. While I am looking for industry information, looking for a company profile will give me companies that are operating in China or that are based in China that are related to the computer industry. You can do the same thing looking for automobiles or any other companies in any other international market. This is an overview on how to find international industry and other types of info in Business Source Complete. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.